What? What? So, we're jumping right into the second episode, folks. You know, Rogue and Storm were ready. They were
all the X-Men
ready.
are always ready. It's on site. We know this.
Yeah, it was on site. Oh man, this theme.
Bro, I can remember just getting my first cell phone. How do I get this as a ringtone? When you first start changing your ringtones, this one. This was it. And I'm happy that they've. Nice. Oh, wait. Too much is happening in this opening.
Wait, it changed from
Bishop. I'm happy that they made Bishop a main character instead of a featured player. So, yay, Bishop. Good for you.
Oh man. Coney Island. Oh man.
My boy got a Walkman. Everyone get out.
Yeah. So much for the Walkman.
Is that who I think it is? Saving humans?
Magneto with his little titty top. I'm so excited. She big.
Maybe we're seeing rebellion.
She was like, I'm not impressed.
That's Callisto. Those are the Morlocks. Oh my god. Should have crushed her hand. Damn.
Jeez.
Metal bending before metal bending.
Oh man. Literally him.
Thank you, Rogue. Former terrorist. Freedom fighter, my opinion. But, you know. Oh my god, are they gonna do Genosha? Wait a minute. He's like, Scott, shut up. Don't tell me how to use my powers. Going your backpack?
Yeah.
Your mentors aren't as perfect as you think. Cause they are sisters. They stay together.
Because it is.
Can't be the X-Men without terrible shit happening.
Yeah.
Gay. Please don't do this to me. And I will say why, but please don't do this. So they do have an intimate relationship in the comic books. That's one of my least favorite aspects of anything ever. But yes, they were romantically entwined.
Yeah.
And she was romantically entwined with his clone for a time. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful Vidal Sassoon hair. Get out of here. Your epileptors aren't.
Yeah.
Chop them up.
Oh,
Real
man.
violence.
She is like, I don't care what you do, bro. You're getting arrested.
Mm.
That is how due process works.
Sure.
A lot of that going around lately.
Yeah, son.
Face cracked. Character.
Yeah. Oh man, that hurt.
And this is a very real world thing that we can't even like. Girl, sit down. You pregnant? Yeah.
Oh man, you alright, Kayla? I don't know about this. Don't tell me she's having this baby now. Oh yeah, literally. Oh crap! I guess Kayla's about to get some answers. About who,
Mind you, though,
yeah.
in the comics, Madeline had to give birth to Nathan on her own and a kitchen floor in the X Mansion. So okay, Jean, go to the hospital.
Oh, hello?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yo. With the Sentinel arms. It's the friends of humanity.
Oh, God.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Damn. Oh, yo, wait, hold on. I thought, oh. Bro, I thought y'all said this man was redeemed. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, hello?
Oh, more. I'm
Oh,
like, that's help?
Wow. Oh,
I will protect the judges.
damn.
Just stacking the cars.
Yeah.
I want those in
Tell him, Storm.
the other X-Inc.
Mm.
Silent, obey my commands, and you shall survive.
Yo, damn.
What do you mean, don't do mutant births?
Oh, no.
Control of your... I'll show you a C-section, Bob.
Jean, darling, I'm here.
Beat up, though.
Rogue, can you use your powers to siphon his
It's
medicine?
not Rogue delivering
Yeah.
a baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is gonna have some consequences. Kayla, it's gonna have major
My
consequences.
girl doing big things. Two gods working together. Fuck out of here. Look at that.
The shock of good conduct.
They are really going all out on Storm
Two
animation. I'm
together
loving
they
it.
work so well. I love it when they work together. Storm and Magneto working
Oh,
together.
he's gonna blast Homegirl's head.
No, he's. I see.
He's gonna. Oh. Ooh, okay. All right, Magneto, don't kill him now. What? Oh.
The breeze is gone. No, the air. What has he done to me?
Wanted.
Lies.
Oh, man.
Your dream. Man has used their awesome power to...
We find out that this was a plan. Uh-oh.
Worm. So small I could smite you with a step. There was a time I would smite you all for what was done to Storm.
But we have growth.
But today, I how vast it is versus how small we make it. Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream. Live in it. I
Bruh.
am trying to be better, not make me let you down.
Look, he has
All right.
eyes.
What's the name?
Thinking Nathan.
Everyone, get out of here.
My poison.
Poison. Oof.
We'll fix this. Scott and I aren't going anywhere, okay? Not until you're well again.
Yo, the view. Wow.
Be heard, seen, to feel another soul finally seeing yours.
Don't do this to me.
It to be like, bro, why?
Fragile treasure.
Why?
Sacrifice to then sometimes watch.
Yeah, no, my boy. Oh,
I have things to say.
no. Not like this. Not like this, my boy.
What did I say? She's back.
What? What?
What? Jean.
What? Kayla's mic has gone out. Oh.
Wait.
Hold
Wait.
on.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't hear you. The scream after you just went
Ooh.
like, yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
man. What the fuck just happened, Kayla? Explain.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Crack the crack. Okay. So Storm losing her powers is something that does happen in the comics.
Okay.
She gets actually shot saving Rogue.
Mm.
Through a gun with similar applications, but the gun is made by Forge.
Mhm.
Um, through through him working with actually Val Cooper in the comics. Working with Val Cooper in the comics, who's also working with Mystique and Destiny. Destiny foresees Rogue losing her powers. Mystique is all like, but if we send a goody two shoes to go, save the day,
Mhm.
i.e., one of the X-Men, Storm, she's like fucking getting on my nerves. She's gonna save her, right? And it's a whole thing. So pretty much Mystique sets up Storm
Mhm.
to lose her powers so that Rogue doesn't lose her powers. So this does happen. Aurora does get shot with a gun that cellularly changes you
Mhm.
and gets rid of your powers. So this does happen in the comic books. Um, the trial of Magneto also happens in the comic books as well for crimes against
Mhm.
humanity. The way they get out of that is his lawyer. Fuck, why is her name escaping right? She's actually a really important character in the comics, but I can't remember at the moment. Pretty much at some point, Eric gets turned into a baby, and
Mhm.
she uses that as it's a clean slate,
Okay.
right? Because the past Magneto is no longer. This is the new Magneto. Comic
Mhm.
book shenanigans, right? He got
Yeah.
turned into a baby. You can't really
Yeah.
charge
Charge
this
him.
guy, right? Um, so that does happen. Executioner is an arc in the X-Men comics as well. That's why they introduced him here.
Okay.
Now, uh,
Two things here between what just happened at the end and this Nathan.
okay. So my whole thing the whole time was whose baby is this? Whose
Mhm.
baby is this? Because in the comics, Jean dies
Mhm.
when she saves the X-Men coming out of space while she's Phoenix.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's the death of Jean Grey. And then later on, they're dealing with this. Scott meets Madeline, who
Mhm.
funnily enough looks like Madeline Pryor, who they notice has a striking resemblance to Jean. A lot of people notice this, but she
Mhm.
is her own person. At the time, she was her own person. There was no more
Yeah.
than that. Later, turns out, as he's already been introduced in the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Later, it turns out that Madeline Pryor is a clone of Jean Grey, created
Mm.
by Mr. Sinister.
Okay.
Um, so a lot of people were very confused on how they were going to do this in the cartoon
Yeah.
because Jean doesn't die in the Phoenix Saga arc.
Yeah. And so.
We'll see through our rewatch. She survives. So everyone was like, well, if Jean survives, how are they gonna get Madeline up in this bitch, right?
And
There's
that's.
won't be an explanation. That's why I was so confused.
Yeah.
Like, how is she pregnant? This is not Jean's baby. This in the comics is Madeline's baby. Nathan.
Yeah.
It's actually Nathan Christopher Summers, not Nathan
Mhm.
Charles Summers.
Okay.
Christopher after Scott's dad. Christopher Summers, who
Mhm.
is Corsair the Starjammer, who they actually meet up in space when they do the whole Phoenix Saga thing.
Yeah.
Comic book stuff, right?
So the person
But
at
fine.
the end that we just saw
So the
is
person
actually
at the
Jean.
end is looks like it's going they're going with they're obviously we're gonna get it
Yeah.
next week how this happened. Um how they bring back Jean in the comics is that
Mhm.
she was cocooned in Jamaica Bay and
Mhm.
eventually finds her way out through
Mhm.
comic book things. So that's why later there is a Jean Grey and there is a Madeline Pryor at the same time in comic
And
books.
so I'm. So you think that who we just saw at the end was Jean, right? Because I was about
Right.
to say that's for what you when you were explaining it. It sounds like we just saw Jean because I remember seeing
Right.
this like I remember like a below about the comics about with
Mm,
Phoenix, of course Phoenix and Dark Phoenix like
right.
that stuff like especially. But yeah, that's I was like, all right. So the person who Scott's with is technically Madeline.
Yes.
And that would make Jean the first that just showed up because I was
Right.
like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Yeah.
But it's very interesting because in the comics, Madeline doesn't have Jean's powers at
Mm-hmm.
the start anyway. It's not, she eventually starts to get them. They have a psychic connection. Her powers are there, but they're not Jean Grey Omega
Yeah.
level telekinetic telepathy powers that Jean Grey has.
Yeah.
Madeline is by all reason the little sister copy, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's very interesting because everyone's like, well, Jean didn't die in the original series. This Jean obviously has her powers.
Yeah.
So how are you like? But I guess how they might explain it. Obviously, I don't know. I guess maybe Madeline just is a full copy, full stop of Jean Grey
Mm-hmm.
powers and everything. So at the end, it's like Madeline Jean has the baby. She's still thinking she's Jean Grey, even though in the comics she knows that she's Madeline. Whatever. Okay, so they're
Yeah.
obviously doing it different, but they're introducing Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out what happens. That was I obviously haven't seen the episode. No one
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
But I'm 99% certain the Jean at the door is
It's
Jean
Jean
Grey.
Grey.
The Jean in
Yeah.
the room is Madeline Pryor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Magneto and Rogue.
Yeah, that yeah,
Okay.
like RIP for my boy holding up the queen card out here. I'm just saying, like, bro, because I knew there was relationships between them. I didn't think it would be happening in the series, like at least like back again. Yeah,
No one did. I honestly, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of like, please look. I'm not the biggest fan of the Magneto and Rogue relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Only when I look at it enough, it is like he is way older than her.
Yeah.
So that now at my age, I'm
Yeah.
always just I look at it weird like that.
Yeah.
I've always been a Romy stan. Romy is Rogue and Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Remy and Rogue.
Yeah.
Like that to me, they are my het relationship number one, right? But obviously, enough time in the comics. It's like, so one of the reasons why Rogue is my number one favorite comic book character of all time
Mm-hmm.
is because she has this past, she's a mutant terrorist, and goes forth through her character arcs willing to accept and be there to listen to people who have also been villains.
Mm-hmm.
Her heart is open to that. It's shown throughout the comics through a long time. That's why she grows closer to Magneto.
Yeah.
Now, as for the relationship they're alluding to in the past, that obviously wasn't portrayed in the original X-Men animated series, but they're obviously trying to bring that out, bridge it from what happened in the comic book series. They started their relationship more so in the Savage Lands, where they both didn't have their powers. And then later on, once the Savage Land stuff stops, there's still that relationship there. I don't think anything happens between them for a long, long time. I think what happens is there's that whole back and forth with her and Gambit. Then she starts dating Joseph, who is Magneto's younger clone, and what you find out with Joseph's power, since there are Magneto's powers, his body has a magnetic field around it that allows Rogue to touch him. That's why there's a connection. They start dating. Plus, there's the connection that she has with Magneto. So that there's that relationship gets built from there.
Okay.
Comic book stuff happens. Joseph is no longer around. Then during the Utopia arc in comics, in the X-Men comics, Rogue and Gambit decide that they need to figure their shit out, but she starts back up a relationship with Magneto, and in turn, I think Magneto has his powers at that point. I know Rogue still has hers. It's that magnetic field, and so that kind of just continues to grow their relationship. In the Age of Apocalypse, she is in fact married to Magneto, though a past relationship is with Gambit. So there's that whole, again, they are sort of a Logan Scott Jean triangle. So it's like a Rogue Magneto Remy triangle sometimes. But that's what they're pulling out here. So they are using her character arc of being open and understanding, and her saying right off the bat, a lot of us, all like her Morph, and Logan, at least in that team wise, in the animated series wise, they all have really shady pasts. They've all done bad things, right? So she says it for what it is. You know, we are not all goody two shoes, but we're all here as a family.
Yeah.
We're all working together now. We've all come to accept each other and love each other. And that's what she essentially says to Eric. Um, so it's that whole thing of Rogue not being able to touch anyone unless her powers get dampened, but now they're trying to be like, well, they obviously had a relationship while she was working with her mother's Brotherhood of Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it's just his Brotherhood of Mutants. I think in the cartoon, Mystique doesn't get her own. I think it's just Magneto's Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right. In the comic, she has her own. Yeah, so it's like, well, she has an understanding for him, and she can't, even though she really likes Gambit, and it's that, but there's that whole temptation of this is a man I can touch, that I
Mm-hmm.
can, not necessarily be sexually intimate with, but we can hold hands. There's
Yeah.
that skin to, I don't have to fear bumping into him.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be that relationship drama. I feel since they might start moving away from the Jean, Scott, and Logan relationship drama, and then go. I don't know.
Now we gotta hurt
Yes.
I gotta hurt my boy.
They're hurting at the end. It's only hurting me. It's hurting me at the end of the day. Okay, that's what it is. It's just an attack against me personally. But yeah, that's probably a long-winded way of explaining it, but that's what's happening here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then and Storm losing her powers, and eventually, I will say this is all comic book lore anyway. Eventually, she does come back, does start leading the X-Men without her powers, to show that you're still a great leader even without the magnificence of it. And as we know in comics, she gets her powers back, so we do know she will get her powers back.
Yeah.
So it's just
how they write it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I will say, being older with eyes, and a lot of people have pointed it out, though the X-Men is said to be an allegory for rights, civil rights and things like that, queer rights, race rights, you know, human mutant rights, right? It doesn't always fit. So it is kind of jarring seeing one of the only Black characters losing her because it's her and Bishop right now are the only main Black cast. Your only Black female character lose her powers and now separated. So now our cast is, quite white. And just hearing it's weird because I obviously look at this different now that I'm older, and I'm hearing Black creatives and Black fans talk about their experience and how they view the mutant allegory and things like that, how it doesn't always fit and it's not a one-for-one thing. So it is weird seeing Jean talk to a Black woman about being afraid, on how she tells her son how he's different and how he needs to be careful, when we know that Black mothers and fathers sadly have to have that conversation with their kids.
Yeah.
Because of what happens in our real world situations. So that was a little jarring to see. Then to have Magneto use her loss of powers as you see what it's done to us different people. You see what it's done to us who are different looking, You know what I mean? It's really
that is when you put it like that, that is type weird.
you see what your hate has done to us who look different. That's what that feels. It's like, okay. Especially too in the first episode with Gyrick telling her, the Black woman, like, you guys are saying, like, basically the white supremacist rhetoric.
Yeah.
So you see, it's not weird, because I don't think weird is the right word. It's a signifier for how these things, though they are present and important to discuss, it's still all our differences are. We live life, though we are different, though I am a queer woman of color, I'm a mixed woman of color, my experience is different from your experience. So me telling you something is like, it's weird. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's that to me. Just the right now in 2 episodes, just the story plotting around Storm,
Yeah.
your only black female character, is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. When you put it into that context, yeah. Yeah.
so
Because
I when we're talking about, especially when we're talking
yeah,
about
with G
IP
now,
like
yeah, that scene.
yes,
Sorry to cut
that's
you off. Yeah,
wild.
yeah, because now
So go
playing
ahead.
back the scene in my head, like, yeah, it's kind of watched. It's like, how do I tell my son he's different? And then I'm looking at Storm. Storm was like, "Have you seen me? I'm your sister,
Like
though."
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's like so. I also think that's a important. Obviously, I haven't seen any other. I haven't watched anyone else react to X-Men '97. I
Then
haven't.
that came
I've been
out
yeah.
literally today. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out today. I've been offline, and then mostly people who have been talking about X-Men '97 have really talked about more so the animation of what I talked about in our last
Mm-hmm.
video. The colorization of Roberto, Storm's hair, just things the micro. I don't want to call them microaggressions, but
Mm-hmm.
because that I don't feel that's right, but it's like in my brain, it's that
Yeah.
right. Um, it's important to criticize the things that we love and to point these things out.
Yeah.
This isn't a perfect one for one. The X-Men were never a perfect one for one. Even now, they're not a perfect one. We can read people who have an open heart and open mind can read these comments and go, "All right, that's quite clunky. That
Yeah.
doesn't really land the way it should." Like these 2 episodes are quite filled with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying, but it's not landing in the way you think or the way it should be
Should
portrayed or
yeah.
landed, right? Um, that's also to say, you know, Storm is one of the only black superhero characters that gets put in the forefront of a lot of things, of a lot of conversations. She's in the forefront of pop culture when you think of black superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
So also the simple fact that this only has 10 episodes. It doesn't seem like again, I don't know, it's only 2 episodes. Doesn't seem like we're going to get introduced to the myriad of other black characters that are in the X-Men universe
Mm-hmm.
to sadly fill her spot even though she's still of the cast, she
Yeah.
will get her powers back kind of thing. Um there's no now she's gone essentially.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not great, but it's good to point it out, it's good to talk about it. Obviously, I can only say it from my opinion of seeing it through hearing other creatives talk about it and learning and growing myself. I think we should all be open to this conversation, though I love this property with all my heart and soul. It
Mm-hmm.
is not perfect.
Yeah.
It is not perfect, and this is one of those instances where it's a glaring imperfection. Um, how are they gonna plot it out? We'll see. Um, I will say I do like Magneto's speech at the UN, really driving it home that skin color, sex, who you love, who you choose to be is looked down upon by these humans, by the sapiens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like that he spoke about being a Holocaust survivor without saying it in so many words,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the stuff that's going on with uh Israel's genocidal regime against the Palestinian people. Um, him saying never again is very important. Uh, like I really that really stuck. It's gonna stick with me. I think yeah, I stopped
Mm-hmm.
talking through a lot of the last part of the episode because I was just listening and taking it in.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of highs. And a lot of like woes and a lot of lows. um,
Highs, woes, and lows.
yeah.
Because that last part, the pop off you had was definitely a woe.
Like I was like the
Yeah.
whole time, the whole couple weeks, I'm like, who's having this baby? Jean
Yeah.
has never pushed a baby out of her vagina. What is happening here? So
Yeah.
I was like, I was kind of sort of excited that they would do maybe Rachel. I'm like, yay, we're gonna get Rachel, my little girl, like
Mm-hmm.
queer lesbian girl fail from the future. the second Phoenix. I'm so excited, but no, it was Nathan. So I was just like, okay,
Yeah, once they
weird. That's
said
not her
son,
kid.
yeah.
Yeah, just already popping up with Gene number 2 with
Yeah.
Madeline. Like we're going full speed ahead. I think I might have a issue with that later on down the line, that it feels like we're doing a lot of stories in 10 episodes.
Okay.
But yeah, because this
Yeah.
was Trial of Magneto. We're gonna pop off with Madeline stuff. We're being introduced to the executioner. Charles is dead. Trial of Magneto, Storm losing her powers. The Morlock's going to Genosha. So
Yeah, because
that's like,
you said you were getting Genosha, yeah. Yeah,
yeah, like even though I think they introduced Genosha in the original, I really do have to rewatch the original series, but
yeah,
like a lot of plots
it's
are
happening.
happening. Yeah, all in 2 episodes. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they
Yeah.
drag this out. We know for a fact that they're going to. Emma Frost is gonna be in it. Sinister is obviously gonna be in it. So it's just gonna be interesting to see how they flesh out these plot points in only 10 episodes and how fast this gets moving.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot to take in, yeah.
And
Overall, yeah.
go ahead. No,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
I
I
can say
spoke a lot.
overall, like, no, like the episode itself, like, it was enjoyable, but that Magneto speech, that was hitting. But yeah, nah, like the minute, of course, I would take the thing I would take away the most. Like, damn, there's a lot to take away. Um, yeah, not like just into the totality of the episode, between the relationship stuff going on with Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit, that plot line, Storm's plot line, we the dude from last episode already, like I forget his name, Spots,
Sunspot,
Sunspot, yeah,
Roberto da
Roberto.
Costa.
Yeah, like we have him in the back line of everything going on, even though he wasn't mentioned this episode. So you guys see what's up with that. Um, yeah, like the execution of stuff. There's so much, and I mean, we're given about 26 minutes of running time because this episode ended around 28 minutes. You figure the opening theme was about 30 seconds. It's not like anime where it's a minute and 30 seconds. The opening theme is about 30 seconds. You give it about 28 minutes of actual animation. Because it's like 3 minutes of full on credits and whatnot. Yeah, that's a lot of credits. It feels like there's way more cast that works on, the American, or I'll say the non. It feels like a lot more people working on the non anime style, animation works than it does in, like, say, anime. I mean, maybe it's because they just go by fast and whatnot.
Yeah.
Who knows? But right now I'm liking it. Like, so we're talking about like right now I'm liking it, right? But yeah, I can see where you're saying that it's going to be a lot, and how they're going to cover everything for it to make sense and cohesive. So that I'm looking forward to. Just as much as I'm looking forward to figuring out what the fuck we got at the very end, because when I saw this on the G, I was like, wait a minute, what? And then your reaction was just like that just really sealed it. You like jumped out of your seat.
I don't think I've had that kind of reaction. I know you have watched this series, but for anyone who's also into this stuff, I watch Masters of the Universe Revelations, which is retelling of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the old 80s cartoon. It's on Netflix, and not this season that just aired, which I actually have to watch. The season previous, the season finale, they introduced a villain from its sister show, She-Ra. I jumped out of my seat. I was
like, like this. Yeah,
like, I was
it's
like,
the
yeah, it's just like, what? They're doing this now? Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the pop offs. Yeah, I think my last pop off, like, that was similar to that is when we was watching Torture Princess, and they had Super Smash Brothers
Yeah.
in the series. I'm like, what? Yeah, I just like, yeah. Other than that, it was a free and pop off. Like yeah, nah, it's our pop offs are rare. And so that's when they happen, you know some shit is going down. Be like, oh my fucking god. Yeah.
I usually get big reactions, especially when not that I can't, there's no way I've read every single
Yeah.
comic, but you know, even the comics I'm talking about now, I have secondhand information. Like
Yeah.
I didn't read Executioner, Phoenix Saga, I've absorbed through pop culturally and then just going back and like looking through the issues and things like that. Life Death, which is Storm's story and losing her powers.
Yeah.
Like so a lot of it I haven't personally read myself. It's just you
Taking the information.
it's so vast and the stories are from such a long time ago. You kind of just pick up this information and you know and you gather it.
Yeah.
So for me it's just like anytime like there's a piece of comic book lore that pops out of anywhere or like even Masters of the Universe like just like I'm just like that gets me so excited. That gets me
Yeah.
so like because you're like, are they doing this? They can't be
Yeah.
doing this. What? They're actually talking about this little thing that no one has talked about before. It's only in the what? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh man, can't wait for next week's episode. So you already know every Wednesday we'll be checking this out. I mean, it's our weeks are starting to become. I mean, with the end of you know the anime season, pretty much for a lot of our other animes, now we have something for Wednesdays that's pretty solid. So you know that's another two things to look forward to. This Dungeon Meshi. Now we got our Wednesday anime. I mean,
there you
animated
go.
series and our Wednesday animated series. So you know, I guess until next week. All right. Well, folks, catch you guys next week. You already know. Doses.